Okay, the meeting of the Board of Ellis County Commissioners will now come to order. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and Bobby, if you can record that Commissioner LaRue and I are here, and Commissioner Younger is absent today, we do have a quorum. The order of business, there's no changes to the order of business, and I do not believe we have any executive sessions today. Prior minutes, Commissioner, did you get the chance to review your prior minutes?
Yes, sir.
Minutes stand as submitted. Consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda, items A through G.
I'll second that motion. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 2-0. Any issues from persons not on the order of business? Okay. Monthly department report. Commissioner, did you get a chance to review that?
I did, yes.
Yeah, I did too. Very thorough.
Yeah.
There were a lot of work. Okay. The next agenda item is the Fort Hays State University update. Dr. Mason.
Good morning, and thank you very much once again for your service, which is really important. I would like to start today. As you know, we received several wonderful pieces of news from the legislative session. One was $500,000 to our base for a cybersecurity institute and technology incubator. And we've started the work on that, so I'd like to begin with an update on that project, and I'm going to call Melissa Hunziker to the podium to talk a little bit about it, and then I'll come up with some other campus updates.
Okay.
Thank you, President Mason, and thank you for having me today. It is a pleasure to give you a little bit of background on this initiative and this project and why we're so very excited. It's been a long time coming in some of our eyes, but I think what I'm most proud about is the fact that it's an opportunity to connect students with real experiences that make a real difference for small and medium-sized businesses as we all work together to navigate the challenges of a real threat, which is cybersecurity. And so this initiative, the Cybersecurity Institute and Technology Incubator, is an entity that will play to our strengths in the Department of Informatics at Fort Hays State. We are very proud of our National Security Agency Center for Academic Excellence designation in cyber defense. And so we're taking that initiative, the strengths that we have by being home to the Small Business Development Center. Fort Hays houses that, and all of the regions that it serves. And so what this will do is give us an opportunity to have real experiential learning experiences for our students to go out into small businesses and help small businesses assess or improve their cybersecurity posture. We know that over 60 to 80%, depending on what state you're in, of ransomware attacks and security issues, vulnerabilities that put business assets at risk are leveraged on small and medium-sized businesses. They are particularly vulnerable. And that upwards of 80% of those businesses, when you're looking at losses in upwards of $100,000 per incident, many of those businesses are not positioned to survive a cybersecurity attack. So part of our drive and our objectives with this initiative is to grow Kansas businesses, but also recognize that there needs to be some time and attention put in on asset preservation. So part of deploying students in a micro internship capacity to go out and do security assessments and things like that for small and medium-sized businesses. We hope to improve the security posture of those entities. The other track of the Cybersecurity Institute and Technology Incubator is to actually cultivate new business as well related to technology and cybersecurity. So beginning in the summer, we plan to receive applications for our first batch, if you will, of new ventures. Somebody with technology acumen and a fantastic idea may not have the other business wherewithal to do a marketing plan or capitalization plans or business plans. So within the incubator, we add to their great idea the other sorts of expertise that help them move that from concept into something that's viable and launchable. And so we're trying to do two things that we hope will make a difference in the Kansas economy. One is preserving small and medium-sized businesses and focusing on that aspect of asset preservation, and then also looking to launch new viable tech ventures and businesses that we hope will stimulate the Kansas economy. So we're really excited. We've long wanted a business incubator, and we're grateful for the opportunities that the Board of Regents and the Kansas Legislature, through the advocacy and support of President Mason, have positioned us to make a reality, and we're really excited about that. I will go back just a moment to talk about the micro internship piece. What that looks like is we have mapped our curriculum to certain kinds of work that students could go out and do for a business related to cybersecurity. And while a traditional internship might be particularly time-bound, right? Like you might have to go somewhere and live there for 4 months and figure out how to afford a lease there, or how to maybe uproot your life. A micro internship is project-based and scope-based. So it's not time-bound, it's not geography-bound with many of these tech kinds of internships that we're able to do. And so they can, possibly live here in Hayes or possibly live in Pittsburgh, Kansas, and do these kinds of things for small businesses wherever they might be. And so because it's project-oriented, these micro-internships can be stackable, they can be transcriptable, and so it gets our students out there getting really good experience, but while absolutely making a difference. So I think that concludes my remarks, but I would be happy to answer any questions that you have.
How many students will be going out and looking at small businesses?
Well, so right now, our pilot cohort is going to have 15 projects and 15 businesses. We're evaluating students. It's very important that we have the infrastructure in place to give businesses the assurance that we've done our vetting and we have our forms in place, like a non-disclosure and those kinds of things. And so we will have aptitude tests so that no student gets deployed in a situation that they don't have the appropriate skill to support being successful. So our first cohort is going to have 15. We plan to be able to scale that up to 75 a semester. And so that's what we're looking at now. If it is successful, we do think we have plans for how we could add additional staff and resources and scale beyond those metrics, but that's what we're planning for right now.
When you look at cybersecurity in small businesses, do most small businesses, do they lack the infrastructure capacity or just the ability to secure their network?
So one aspect of how we're doing this, we want to be very strategic. And so one of the things that we're getting off the ground right now is a study. We plan to get referrals from the Small Business Development Center and also leverage their network to deploy the study to get a sense of how do small and medium-sized businesses look at security, and how do they plan for those needs? Based on national studies, we want to do that study just to Kansas. National studies done by both industry and other academics would suggest that for many of small businesses, there's a little bit of that could never happen to me, or that doesn't happen here, or why would some hacker in an Eastern European country care about my little grocery store in Gove, Kansas? So there's sometimes just an element of denial. Sometimes there's a perception of affordability or complexity, like I don't really know how to do this. We know that cybersecurity insurance is increasingly a product that's popular in the marketplace, but underutilized by small and medium-sized businesses because they often don't know how to go about purchasing a product like that. Like I've heard things like, yeah, 2 or 3 people have talked to me about that, but I think they're trying to sell me more than I need, and I don't really know what I need, and I really don't understand this stuff. So there is an element of evaluating what those perceptions are so that we can also be strategic about what businesses, where they are. Are they at a place where they need help figuring out their insurance needs, or are they at a place where we have to convince them that this can really happen to you? So we do recognize that a large part of this might also just be a training aspect of helping small businesses better understand their vulnerabilities and how they can do a better job and maybe do that not as expensively as they perceive. So there's lots of those kinds of things that we hope our data from our study will help us develop strategy for.
Yeah, this could be a very good resource.
We're excited. We're very excited.
Commissioner Joe, any questions?
Yeah, so the micro internships, the students that are involved in those, are they able to get compensated for their time and
Yes.
augment their income?
Yes. Yeah, that's part of our budget includes some compensation for what that project, the market price for that project will be. So they do get compensated. At this point, we don't intend for the businesses to have to pay for much, if anything. We're pleased that the legislature has recognized the value of this service to Kansas small business and the Kansas economy. So. And I will say, too, that because we have both undergraduate and graduate programs in cybersecurity, we're able to deploy really a pretty good range of students to be meaningful. Like, not every student is at the same level, but not every micro internship is either. And so we really like the breadth that we are able to offer this project because we have both undergraduate and graduate programs. So, thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. If you have any small businesses to refer to us, we have a handout that I'll be happy to leave with you. So, thank you.
Okay.
I'll just underscore how excited we are that this is going to be really a meaningful impact. And those 15 internships will start in January. So if any business wants to get in the queue faster, I would have them contact Melissa Hunsaker-Walburn or Jason Zeller of our faculty. A couple other just updates. I want to make sure that you are aware of our very exciting announcement that the Banking Institute, W.R. Robins Banking Institute, is now being directed in partnership with the Kansas Bankers Association. So when our last director retired, we learned that he was a unicorn in terms of the ability to teach and the ability to agree and to direct the institute. And so we did some searches, and it didn't seem like we could get somebody that could both do the teaching and the directing. And so that's when the inspiration came to approach KBA, and they enthusiastically supported it. So we now have a director at Fort Hays State University who is hired by the Kansas Bankers Association. We think that this will bring us a lot more opportunity as well as credibility as we move forward. So that's very exciting. I just finished in the end of September the media tour that was started 30 years ago by President Hammond. Wanted to let you know that we did 1,771 miles with 22 stops. And as of last week, we've had 13 articles, TV, radio programs that have reached the areas where we visited, and that media reach, according to social media, is about $1.6 million or 1.6 million views. On November 14th, we are partnering with Ken Rajas, Representative Rajas, to hold an Ag Summit. So we're very excited about that and encourage people to look into that if they're in the ag industry. In process, releasing this week, is our update on our economic development impact from Fort Hays State University on Ellis County, Rooks County, and a couple other counties, I think, that we do. So we're looking forward for that information. Facility updates have been going on as usual. We have a soccer field has been resurfaced. The softball field, if you haven't seen it, is absolutely beautiful. We have, of course, the Coliseum air conditioning project going on, and the library renovation, which we received the $17 million from the federal government for. Our women's basketball team was ranked number 2 in the preseason poll, and our men number 3. Our women's soccer team right now is undefeated, so some fun news from the athletics world. I gave you a brochure that we did a study. I often hear from businesses in the area that students aren't working anymore, they can't find them. And so we actually did a study this past spring, and we'll do this every other year so that we can get some data to the rhetoric. And you'll see that 93% of our students are working. And if you look inside, you'll see also that about 48% work off campus and 51% work on campus, and then there's a huge overlap as well. One of the things that you can't read on the brochure, which I want to find because I think it's very helpful, is 10%, so 10% of our students are working on and off campus, but 6% make money selling items online, 4% on gaming, and 2% on producing social media content. So interesting trends in the world of student employment, and we'll be keeping up with those as well. Finally, I just wanted to end letting you know a little bit, as you've been reading about our enrollment. So we did have an enrollment decline. First of all, we budgeted, we are always looking ahead at trends, and we budgeted for a 5% decline. So even though the head count seems concerning, our credit hours so far are down 6.15, so we're on budget target. And we also have intercession, which has been growing for us in spring semester to meet that budget target. Over almost 90% of our enrollment loss was in China and online. So our freshman class this year are on campus, and like many universities, their energy is pre-COVID. They're excited, they're engaged, they're showing up, and even with a little bit of a down in our on-campus enrollment, we have 100 more students in our residence halls, and we see a lot of energy that we're really excited for. So those are a couple of bullets from my update, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Right. I notice as I frequently go through the campus, there's been a lot of building and improvements, and that north entrance way off of the highway there, it really looks sharp with the pillars that are put up, and it just seems like a lot of good things are happening now at the college.
Thank you. We continue to work hard to drive that success.
Mm-hmm. Joe, any questions?
No questions, just a comment on this, that it's good to see so many students getting out in the community and working, and hopefully that helps them get through school a little easier because, well, food costs money, but
Yeah.
but also it helps area employers out a great deal, so it's nice to see that partnership.
Yeah, and I have to reiterate, we love supporting our businesses with student employment. But what I really get excited about is, we also, in addition to the micro internships that are coming, are the Hanson internships who are coming. So when we combine the academic instruction with hands-on experience through the internship, it's a win-win for everyone. So we're excited to kick all this off, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Doctor. Okay, our next agenda item is the Ellis County Historical Society update.
Good morning, Commissioners. Detective Brad Rickey with the Ellis County Sheriff's Office, also the Ellis County Liaison to the Ellis County Historical Society. I'm joined here with Executive Director Amanda Rupp. And we'd just like to give you a progress report, as we do every couple months. Our last progress report was back on August 15th, 2022. And now that I say that date, does that include our Big Bang into the summer? Okay.
You didn't put that on here.
Okay, well, maybe we'll talk about that too. So anyway, thank you guys for having us. We'll first start with the Oktoberfest. The Historical Society was down at the 2022 Volga German Oktoberfest, Friday and Saturday both. There we displayed our collection of over 50 years worth of mugs. Actually, I take that back. Is it 1972 didn't have a mug? 49 years of mugs then. And then we also had a slideshow of years past for everybody to stop by. We had a very good turnout of people that would stop and check both of those out. But most importantly, we also sold T-shirts, which Amanda's actually got one on right now, and then books as well as Spitzbuben. Apparently that went the quickest. Peach Spitzbuben, am I saying that right? Okay. Was gone in 3 hours apparently. And mind you, this is on Friday when it was a little colder and a little wetter that day. So we're very happy about that. Apparently we didn't make enough. But they are kind of difficult to make. And then the rest of the Spitzbuben was gone by 3:30 that day. We're very happy to announce that we made $2,521 from our Oktoberfest participation, and we thank the Oktoberfest committee for having us there.
Can I add one thing?
Absolutely.
You forgot? Just to go along with more of getting our artifacts out and public seeing our stuff, we did put up a display in the Hayes Arts Council Annex out there on Main that was open during the parade. one, and all day, both of those days, so that people could see all the German artifacts. And it was move it all down there, move it all back, but it's important to get out there and show people that we still have things to show. So.
Literally, I should have said that because I was down at the annex, and I can boast that I moved a city. If you guys remember all of the models of Catherine, all the small houses and whatnot that were made, I think they were displayed down at the Vincent Church for a time. We've acquired those. Now they were down at the annex, and we moved them all in, and we moved them all back out, and we had a pretty good turnout down there too. So that was nice to be within the community like that. So our Victoria site, we're still working between attorneys to get the contracts finalized. Until that happens, of course, we won't move in. Our hope is, as I talked to Alex, who's on our board, Alex Herman, and he was hoping that we would have a final contract to look at by our next board meeting, and then the board will be able to decide whether we're going to take that contract or not and move in over there to Victoria. So,
Not move. Another site. We're not moving off of Hayes. We're not
oh
moving
yeah,
to Hayes.
yeah.
Stop-
We
stop
want to be
pushing
clear
that.
that we're not moving from Hayes. We just simply have another site. Okay. So. Unfortunately, our first annual Twist and Shout Trivia Night, which we've been working on, has been postponed. We've just had a lot of our board members that have had COVID and been sick and not being able to prepare adequately. And because this is our first attempt at this Twist and Shout, we want to make this a huge hoopla for Hayes. So we've decided that we're not going to cancel it altogether. We're just going to postpone it till after the first of the year. This will give us a little bit more time. I know I've been collecting prizes for the Twist and Shout. Other board members have as well. It's going to be an awesome time.
Very fun. But one of the other important reasons is because we're moving out of our temporary office location back to our main campus that same week. So we decided we can't overfill our plate. So
Okay.
that's another reason.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, we want to make sure that this first annual Twist and Shout is awesome. So, and if you don't recall from the last meeting, I did speak about it a little bit, but this is going to be at the Hayes Community Theater. It's going to consist of 8 teams of 8 people that are going to be battling it out with old-time questions, new questions, physical agility stuff, which, I mean, you're not going to be like doing push-ups or anything. It's not going to be too difficult. I could probably do it, so you can probably do it. But 8 teams of 8 people, you know, if Ellis County would want to have a team, it's $80 for admission and a night of fun. I think we're going to have food and drink, beverages, and a lot of good questions about the history of Ellis County. So we hope maybe everybody will take that opportunity. We'll get you a date after the first of the year, and we'll go from there. So we will be open after the Frost Fest. If you guys don't know when the Frost Fest parade is going to be, my quick Google search told me that it would be on December 11th, 2022 at around 6 o'clock. We're going to be showing off our brand new remodeled. Yeah, it's not brand new. It's in the basement of the brick building, and that is definitely not brand new. But we've remodeled it down there, and that is opening up a lot of opportunities for all of our artifacts and for office space and whatnot. It looks beautiful down there. So we hope that everybody takes the opportunity after the Frost Fest parade. You need to warm up a little bit, come down by the Historical Society. We'll probably have some cool things going on, and check out our renovation. So. Lastly, we'll have our next newsletter, our fall newsletter, I assume, will be published by the first week of November. And should we include anything about the Big Bang celebration that we had?
That was just another wonderful thing where we got out in the community and had a free event for families. It was, Labor Day weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Labor Day weekend. And I don't remember how many we had in attendance, but it was to close out the regular season of our firearms exhibit. And we had panning for gold activities. We had an inflatable axe throwing thing. We had we insured a grant from Dane Henson for a art project activity and a entertainer, singer from Eastern Kansas that did some Western folk singing.
Yeah.
So it was nice to be able to host something on our campus again at least once a year. We're trying to do that, even though the main museum is still.
We were also fortunate enough to have a food truck there, which was really great. And one of the board members made like a human-sized slingshot that we're shooting things with. It was awesome, by the way. I guess that might be it for us. Does the commission have any questions or anything for us?
You said you sold out a Spitzbuben by 3:30. How many Spitzbuben was that?
Per cookie, it was like over 1,000. It was like 80 some dozen.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We had a nice little assembly line. Two of our board members made the dough, and then rest of them we conjured into. We've got an energetic board that really does participate a lot, and so we had a nice little assembly line putting them together that week.
I can guarantee that they were good, Butch, because I didn't make any of them, so.
You probably ate a few.
Well,
Well, it shows that there's a lot of energy in the Historical Society Board. You're doing a lot of good things. Just keep up the good work.
absolutely, thank you. Thank you for your support.
Commissioner Joe?
So the twist and shout, are you going to have like heating pads, somebody to help stretch people out?
It's more like minute to win it kind of things.
There you go.
So, but it won't just have, this town, I think, has a lot of banquets and silent auctions and balls and race for things, but this isn't something that we see a lot in this community for a fundraising purpose. And not only is it the $80 entry fee or $10 per person for your team, but you don't necessarily have to know all the answers because it's fundraiser. And so we like the people that want to buy their answers. So you don't know the answer, you get a mulligan. You want to double your points this round, you can buy that. So it should be a fun night. We have a limit of 15 teams because of the area, but hopefully it's going to be an annual fundraiser that we do every year. And it's not just about Ellis County, it's about lots of different trivia. We have someone on our board, a couple people that were retired teachers that are really enjoying making up these questions. So
Great. So if you didn't look at page 373
On your
of your
textbook.
10th grade history textbook,
Right.
you're in trouble.
right, bring your cash.
And so buy that answer. So,
Right.
no, just to echo what he had said, just in the past year and a half, just the transformation that you guys have done. And we say this pretty much every time you come here, but just incredible what you guys have done for the Historical Society and Ellis County as a whole. So thank you very much.
We enjoy sharing it with you guys
Yeah.
because we're not busting down the doors and we can't be open all the time, but getting you these little pieces that we're still viable and we're still doing some work on the inside is important to share with you guys. So thank you.
And we thank you because without the commission's support, the city of Hayes' support, and the citizens of Ellis County, we couldn't be doing what we're doing, so thank you as well. We're very proud of what we've done, so,
Okay.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, our next agenda item is the Access Transportation Letter of Support. Wade?
Morning, Commissioners and staff. My name is Wade Cruz. I'm the Transportation Manager for DS&WK and Access Public Transportation here in Hayes. Again, this year, we are applying through the KDOT for our award grants for our operating on our 5310 and 5311. Oh, yeah. The 5310 one that we have asked for you to sign again this year is to help offset the cost of the new vehicles that we are hoping to purchase in our 5310 program. The one for the 5311 will help offset the cost of our operation expenses for the public transportation. We just learned this year that the vehicles that we will be purchasing have gone up 25 to 35% in costs. So a new cutaway bus for the 5311 program for Access Public Transportation will now cost us over $100,000 each, compared to $82,000 that it was last year. Due to the inflation, yeah, we're going to have to up our stuff, but the commission that we get, the money that we get from the Ellis County Commission to the city of Hayes to the CARE grant help offset those costs. So we're hoping to be able to purchase new vehicles with the support that we get from the Ellis County Commission like we've had in the past. So we're hoping to up our rides this year. This past year, we only did a little over 30,000. We're hoping to hit over 40,000 this year. So we have raised our rates on our public transportation. We are now $3 one way and $5 for the county rides. That's just due to the cost of the inflation of fuel. Our fuel costs went from almost $5,000 to almost $13,000 a month in fuel costs, so,
Sure. Yeah, that's understandable.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, the commission supports
Sure.
access
And
transportation.
we greatly appreciate it.
And I don't have any problem at all signing the letters of support. We'll for sure get that done.
Okay.
Commissioner Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys provide a very valuable service to a lot of folks in the community. You know, you mentioned your rides. You said, oh, we're down only 30,000. 30,000, that's a lot. So, you know, even if it was half that, imagine if those folks had no way to get from home to work or home to shop or to a doctor's appointment. That would be very negative and very impactful if they
Yes.
didn't have transportation. So very happy to support your
Yeah, we appreciate
organization
it.
in any way we can.
I know DS and WK and Access both appreciate it.
Wait, on the vans you plan to replace, how old are they?
Some of them are, well, we've got some that are over 10 years old.
Okay,
But KDOT has a standard, they have to be at least 5 years old and have to have 100,000 miles. We have some 5310 vehicles that have well over 100,000 miles on them. But they're still in good maintenance work, so we don't want to replace them until we start having major mechanical failures like transmissions or engines and stuff. So we are looking at possibly 4 to 5 vehicles, but most of them will be the minivan styles, which will be still, they've went up from $45,000 to $73,000 each for a ramp accessible minivan, so.
Is it more difficult to get the vans now?
Yes, KDOT did tell us, I was at a conference at the KPTA, which is the Kansas Public Transportation Association of Kansas, which I'm a board member of. They told us now vehicles are anywhere between 18 to 24 months out before we get them delivered. Ford is not making the chassis for the cutaway vehicles and transit vans for public transportation at this time. So hopefully they will open that factory up, because we have vehicles that were supposed to be delivered last year in November that we're going to be waiting another 18 months to get.
Right.
So that's how long the process is taking, so.
Yeah,
But we have to have the funds available, so that way, when it comes time,
sure, absolutely.
yes.
Okay, well, we'll be sure to get the letter signed.
Thank you. I appreciate you. That was time. Y'all have a good day.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you,
thanks.
Wade. Okay, the next agenda item is the Administrative Center Generator. Lyle?
Good morning, Commissioners. Lyle Pantel, Assistant Director of Fire and Emergency Manager. This morning, I've been asked to present the administrative generator project for Darren, since he was unable to attend. I'm trusting that you had a minute to review this information. I feel that I'm prepared enough, but over the course of the year, you've reviewed and discussed the priority of projects within Ellis County, and one of those was a new generator for the administrative building here, and that's to provide enough power to supply this building and our IT network with the ability to run for 24 hours uninterrupted with a new generator. Now, initially, the estimates were that we needed a 450 kW generator. One of the only bid that we received, the personnel came out and did some studies and found out that we could get by with a 350 kW generator, which is also room to add, which is 30% more than what we actually need. So if there's any growth, we don't know what to expect for the future. So that would give us the ability to add more onto that generator if need be. One of the questions that Darren had told me to be prepared for was if we could get, because the generator that we're looking at is 60 to 68 weeks out, if we were to purchase one that was bigger, along that 400 line, maybe slightly larger, could we get it here quicker? Well, the answer is maybe yes, but it's not appropriate, because when we test that generator weekly, we wouldn't be putting it under a necessary load, and if it's not under that necessary load, we tend to run across more maintenance issues earlier by not putting it under a necessary load, that 65, 70% of what it's required to meet when we do lose power. So I come before you to see if you would approve the award of this bid to the one RFP that we did receive from RDH Electric.
Sure. And I know I had a long chat with Darren yesterday regarding this, and this will be paid out of the ARPA funds,
Yes, sir.
and it's all been budgeted within that ARPA category. It is something this building does need. We know at some point in time we're going to have power outages, and it'll provide the continuity of service we need. So, yeah, I'm not going to have a problem with this. Do you have any questions, Commissioner?
No questions. I don't have a problem with it either. We need to be able to continue to operate during inclement weather and other things that may affect the ability to have power to the building. We have a community to serve, and if we don't have power, we can't do that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
definitely budgeted for. It's not going to affect us with reoccurring costs that it would be too impactful, especially given that it's initially funded with ARPA money. So yeah, in fact, I move to approve purchase order number 7688 to the purchase and installation of an emergency generator with RDH Electric at the administration building.
And I'll second that motion. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 2-0.
Thank you very much,
Oh,
Commissioners.
we thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
We don't have a county administrator here today, so we won't have a county administrator report. County commission reports. Commissioner?
No, sir, I don't have anything.
Okay. And I have no report. So if there's no additional business, the county will adjourn at 9:09.